What up, everybody? It's your man, damednydc. Two mics up, back again, brand new episode. It's Monday night. You know how we do. So look, tonight, man, we got special guests. We got a brother, man, that's really, I think, on the rise. We're gonna start seeing a whole lot more of it if you haven't paid attention to it yet. And really, most importantly, the brother's a DC native. You know what I'm saying? He put in work down here in the DC area. Now he up in my hometown. He up in the NYC. Continuing to move and make big things happen. And we came across this brother, man, in a recent film, the joint called Beauty, man. Just came out on Netflix not too long ago. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. I think it's a great story. He's also been in some other joints, Uncut Gems, if I recall. Probably seen him here. They on TV. He popped up on Power, and he was on, I believe, CBS's FBI. And I'm just gonna tease you because I know you're probably sitting here like, all right, Dame, well, who we talking about? So I'm just gonna bring this brother to the screen right now, ladies and gentlemen. We rocking with Andre Ozim, and this brother, man, is really, like I said, I think he has this, I don't know, this aura, this magnetism that really caught our attention. So Andre, without further ado, and me spilling long enough, take a second, brother, man, and introduce yourself to our audience, man. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, I am Andre Ozim. You actually, shout out to Dave. He actually got that exactly right, Ozim. So shout out to a lot of people be like Ozim, ism, Ozims. I done got all types of isms. So Ozim, yeah, it's
Ozim,
actually a Nigerian name. I'm Nigerian, and I'm Igbo. So it's from the Igbo heritage tribe. So shout out to any Nigerians out there.
Okay.
Especially in this industry, it seems like they love us now. They love Africans right now.
That's right. The hot thing right now is the hot thing, the hotness going on. The true African, the genes is coming through and it's strong, man. And I just want to ask, man, talking about your heritage and everything, but can you dive a little bit of like who, we see Andre, the actor, the performer, but who really is Andre? Like, what was your upbringing like, man, and your culture, and how was that transition? You maybe melding here with the American culture, and how did that work coming up, man?
Yeah, it was a lot. So I was born in Oklahoma. First.
Wow. Wow.
I was born in Oklahoma. So I guess my parents had met there randomly. My father had worked down there, I guess, apparently. Long story short, because my mother's Nigerian, my father's American. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I started there, and I moved to DC when I was about 6 years old.
Okay.
And so since 6, I left DC at about 21.
Wow.
And I moved here and just been grinding. You know what I mean? Like every week, I was just auditioning out of my car. Basically, I was living in my car when I first got here, like about a year and a half. Mm-hmm. And I say that to say that I came here. I really didn't know what I was expecting.
Right.
You had asked, how did I get the ball rolling? I really didn't know what to expect. I just, I guess I would say who Andre is someone who found his purpose and looked for his purpose, really. Because when I was in DC, I was a paralegal in Department of Justice. Okay. And I was attending University of Maryland. I was in psychology. I was pretty much, the guy that looked good on paper, basically. You know what I mean? The guy that did all the right things.
Right. Checked all the boxes.
Checked all the boxes. Mm-hmm. And something about it, not to have a long story short, but I'll sum it up real quick. When I was in college, my first semester, I attended Bowie State University.
Okay.
Because I lived in Bowie. I went to Bowie High School. And one of my professors, she gave us let us watch this movie called The Secret. And she was an African American studies teacher. Mm-hmm. So she knew she wasn't supposed to do that, but she was very good at just giving us little gems that nobody else would have taught us, right? We all have those teachers in school.
Yep. Yep.
And so that led me to believe that I can really almost accomplish anything. But at that moment, my mind was very small. So I was like, I'm gonna get a government job. That's what
Right.
I wanted. And so
Right.
a
Right.
year and a half, I kept focusing. I was getting a government job. I'm gonna get a government job. I'm gonna get a government job. I applied, did all the things, and I ended up getting a government job because I ended up meeting someone. And I ended up basically being friends with the head of Department of Justice, basically.
Wow.
Someone's the relative of basically I met a friend through a friend, got the
Right.
job, and that's when I realized, that's when it clicked for me, and that was in 2010. That's when things clicked, and I realized that I had a certain power, and so I went to I as much as I wanted the job, I quit the job in like 6 months. I had 6 8 months, man. I had a clearance. Actually, I had to get a clearance. I
Right.
had just moved up, got promoted.
Right.
Literally, in a week later, I quit. I quit because I was not happy. I was very depressed with the
Wow.
things that I was doing at that
Wow.
job, and I realized, like, I guess Andre is somebody who's on the pursuit of happiness. Long story short.
Man, I mean, that's deep though, to even, because a lot of us, I think, go through that cycle, really don't know how to identify with what it is. Lucky enough for you, you were able to identify that at a young age. And the reason why I said it took me a little bit longer,
Yeah.
because I can relate to what you're saying. It wasn't for me until a little bit
It was something that
later.
clicked.
Yeah, all of a sudden it was just like something like, yo, whoop, wait a minute. Why am I even wasting my time doing this? This is not my purpose or my calling. And I'll take it one step further for those who may or may not know, who may have heard me say, even on the show, 10 years ago this summer, I should have lost my life. And laying in a hospital bed, listening to a doctor telling my wife, well, if you believe in God or pray, just pray, because we don't know what's going. It's up to God now. And I remember him saying that. I'm looking at my wife and looking at my daughter, and I'm saying, God, I know there's got to be something else you want me to do. And here it is. Fast forward 10 years later. I'm here. I think I found a purpose now. So I get it. And again, I'm just summarizing it, but I can relate to what you're saying. So I hope that when people hear this or watch this, that they take away that, because that's very sincere. And we as men of color, sometimes we don't even know how to express what you just said. So I think that's really great that you shared that. But then too, I want to transition, Andre. So one of the things, or some of the things that I found, and before I get to that, um, that pursuit of happiness. Then let's hone in on that. Was that what was it for you to say, hey, entertainment is really what I want to do? Is that my pursuit of happiness? Is that what makes Andre happy? Was that it moment when you really realized that you want to go ahead and do it?
Yeah, kind of, because when I first moved to New York, I thought I was going to be a model, right? So
Mm.
when I was in DC, I was also working at Pentagon City. I worked at like a couple of like fashion stores in there,
Mm-hmm.
like being a sales clerk. But
Right.
people ask me, "Hey, have you ever modeled before?" And I never thought about it. I
Mm.
never thought about myself outside of a 9 to 5, honestly.
Wow. Wow.
And so, yeah, I can say yes. It clicked, and I just knew acting was a thing for me, but it wasn't. It was a trial of error. Like, really, it
Mm.
was. I started modeling. I didn't like it. Then I did background work. I didn't like it. Then I did a student film. One of my student films made Tribeca Film Festival.
Okay.
And that was one of my first films.
Mm-hmm.
It was an NYU film, and yeah, that was 2016. That was like one of my first
Wow.
films. That's when I
Wow.
first kind of started acting, really.
Okay.
2015. So I got here in 2010, and I didn't start acting full time until 2015.
Wow.
That tells you the journey that it
The
took
journey.
me to just reprogram and just because it takes not only courage, you have to realize that you have the power to create reality.
Mm.
And it took about 3 to 4 years for me to get my brain to really understand, like, I have the power to create reality. I have the
Wow.
power.
Mm. Now, that's deep, because in that time, then I have to ask you that was really what I wanted you to lead in with, really, was because in that time you really have a really diverse training or skill set, if you will, because I didn't even know about the modeling part. But as I understand it, you're not only TV and film, but had the opportunity to travel abroad and get on stage with theatrics, and you're also a comedian. Like how, like that's a whole combination of things. So like, how did that play out, man? What was that like? Was that really a part of you honing your craft, or again, was that just kind of part of your journey?
Yeah, it was a part of the journey. Yeah, it was kind of both actually.
Mm-hmm.
I went to London. Is what you're speaking
Mm-hmm.
about. I went to London to train out there. I trained at Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts in London. I did it for about a year. I studied abroad. I studied Shakespeare and theater. And when I was out there, that was a bit of a journey because I originally went out there. I'm not even gonna lie, I was booed up. I had a girl at the time, and she was like, "You want to go to Europe?" I said, "Yes."
Right.
And when I went there, I actually, got the opportunity to train out there. But
Mhm.
when I was out there, I trained. So yeah, it was part of craft in that as well. And as far as comics, comedian, man, honestly, I've been doing that since like 2017 as well.
Uh-huh.
I kind of just like, I don't know, I just love just being on stage and having. It's like you're a storyteller in and of itself. It's like moment to
Mhm.
moment, and it's it's,
Mhm.
it's fun, man. I like making people laugh. It's funny when you look back
Uh-huh.
at my as a kid. I've always been these things. It's just now I'm just starting to get paid for it.
That's what's up. There we go. Let's get that money for it. I mean, it's very true. Ladies and gentlemen, like I say, if you get a chance, and even go watch some of his stuff, because I had caught a piece. One of our team had found where you I think it was Bam, you performing on stage. Another piece that we saw. Someone had asked you to kind of get into your thespian character and give a piece. And what I always find, or found, just kind of watching you and research, you're very natural, but you have a very humble soul about you. um and in the industry, though, I have to ask, though, I know it's still, you're still on that journey, but have you found it hard for yourself sometimes to keep that humility and keep that humbleness? uh or is that just something that you just hold on to? Because I know it's got to be the acting and entertainment industry, man. It's got to be like some wild times. I'm pretty sure you probably got some wild stories. But like does that ground you? Is that really a part of keeping you grounded?
I'm not. I mean, to be honest, and every actor can attest to this, man. Especially acting. Acting will humble you in general, man. All the
Mm,
auditions you go in, I mean, just that alone. You audition and you continue to audition and you don't get this and you don't get that. I mean,
mm,
that is humbling, like, because
right.
you think you the next Denzel.
Right.
You think you the man. And
Right.
and you know what I'm saying? And life will humble you and things will humble you. And coming from a place where I didn't have nothing, living in my car, and now
Mm,
living in my own apartment, and those moments humble you when you remember that. And also having close to my family and
mm,
keeping that family with you, and yeah, man. And it's not even about, if you're doing it for the right reason, it's not even
mm.
about Hollywood. It's about storytelling. You're really trying to
Right.
tell stories, and you just so
Right.
happen to be an actor. I could have been a
Right.
writer. Writers aren't that famous,
Mm,
you know.
mhm.
Directors are a little bit more famous, but I mean that's just I just chose to be an actor. I feel like I'm best suited
For that.
for that.
Mm.
I'm
I
also
like
a
it.
writers, though, but acting is mainly my main focus.
And that's what I was gonna say. That's your passion, like you said earlier on. Right now,
Yeah.
that's your focus and your passion, and you can see it when you talk. And I do want to transition then to, because, like I had said earlier, your role on the Netflix film Beauty, and I find it very interesting, this story. And to me, and I don't know, and you tell me, because you were maybe a little more involved. um it seemed like this was really inspired by like true life story type thing. It seems very reminiscent of someone to me. And I don't want to, for those who maybe haven't seen, I want them to go see it. But what was that like for you, working, on such an awesome project? But the cast, man, the cast was dope. The cast was fire. So what was that like, for you?
That's another funny story. Yeah, I auditioned. So first of all, I played a preacher. I played a
Okay.
pastor. I played a young pastor, and for that audition, they asked you to come in and perform basically a sermon in front of the congregation. And that congregation was women, and those
Okay.
women were coming to the church mainly because of the pastor.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Wink,
saying?
wink, Pastor. Okay, Pastor.
Exactly. It was one of those churches. And so what I chose was, as an actor choice, I came in with a guitar, and I chose to play the guitar and, do a sermon and then pray.
Okay.
And that got me the job. And I actually met Lena Waithe at Queen and Slim premiere. And this was like a week after I auditioned. Mind you, it took like a month for me to hear back if I booked it or not. And so I see her at Queen and Slim. I'm like, hey, Lena Waithe, hey, it's Andre. I just auditioned for you, such and such. And then I thought it was just crazy that I just auditioned for her. And then I ended up meeting her the next week. And I just mentioned that to her. And he was like, oh, thanks. I'll look out for you. And, that's kind of how that happened. It kind of snowballed like that. I'm not saying that she saw me and I got the role, but I'm not saying that didn't help. You know what I mean? Like, it's just...
That was that divine intervention right there, man. Right place, right time. Sun, star, moons aligned, and bam, there you go.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I have to ask then. So too, then, and maybe because I always like to ask. Sometimes we have celebrity guests on. Before you became an entertainer and an actor, what is it like for you? Because like for me, when I look at the cast, that was in the movie, like Giancarlo Esposito.
Oh my God,
Been a
man.
huge fan of his.
Oh my God. Yeah. I shared a trailer with all of these people, man.
Well, yeah, talk. What
Yeah. So
was that like,
talking,
man?
with Giancarlo Esposito, yeah, the first time, yeah, I went up to him, and I had just finished Breaking Bad. He's in Breaking Bad. I mean, but he's in everything. I mean, all the Spike Lee things. He's a GOAT. If you don't know him, look him up, Giancarlo Esposito. Yeah, so I saw him. I recently saw Breaking Bad, and I was in this trailer. We're getting a haircut together. I'm getting because this is a period piece. So I was getting my mustache, and I'm just looking over him. We're talking to him about the films that he's done and the work that he did on Breaking Bad. I'm just like, man, I can't. It's so funny how this industry allows you to work so closely with the people that you grew up with. Like, you can have a conversation with them. That person could be your father or your uncle, or you know what I'm saying? Anybody. That person could be the person that locks you up. I mean, it's just
right.
And, I lock people up in power. So
right.
And it's just the world that you're in. But yeah, then Niecy Nash, we had the same trailer as well. She's phenomenal. She's hilarious. Great energy. We have mutual friends.
Wow.
Well, my mentor, Coleman Domingo, is a good friend of hers, and we shared that connection. And even when I was, I know you're speaking about beauty, but even when, let me back it up. When I was on Power, when I met Ghost and Omari, who is Omari Hardwick, and a couple other people from the cast, we were just talking about doing theater, like some off Broadway. So I don't know if anybody out there who doesn't know theater. It goes in spectrum. So it's Broadway, off Broadway, then off Broadway.
Right.
And then it can be off.
Back there.
And so me and Omari Hardwick, we laughed about that. And he was like, man, I done so many offs. They just been way off. And to talk to them about that and know that they've gone through the same things that I've gone through as far as patience and hearing no's, and it's a route, it's a road. Sometimes some people get there before you, sometimes people get there after you, but it's all a journey. And at the end of the day, it's
I love how you mentioned that, because I think that's the part that we sometimes as fans we don't get to see. We don't get to see your struggle. We don't really understand your struggle. All we see is when the lights are on, and you're showing up and you're doing your thing, and like I say, you have I say you're just blessed. Like I give it to you, like you have an aura and energy about it. It's a blessing, and I can see, and this is my opinion. I can see your better pieces of work are ahead of you, without question. And we wish you all the success.
Thank you.
But speaking on that, if you now kind of becoming a veteran, in the game, if you will, because I mean, you talk about 2010.
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And I know it's still your story is still to be written and told, but
Mhm.
12 years, 13 years of doing something consistently, whether like you said, stage, TV, film. If you could go back, or if there was another young man or woman who wanted to maybe get into the industry, like what knowledge or what could you share, that maybe could kind of help them or guide them from what you've learned so far in your journey?
I got nothing. I'm joking. Joking. I
I
just
love
always
it.
want to do that because people expect you to say this amazing thing, and they're like I really got nothing.
I love
No,
it.
no. The funny thing about that is that it feels like 13 years. I feel like so this is 2022. Yeah, so I feel
Mhm.
like I started my spiritual journey 13 years ago, but I
Okay.
started acting in 2015.
Okay.
And what I would say to someone who does want to go into acting or to any journey really is to really ask yourself in this moment, are you fulfilled?
Mm.
And if that's an honest question that you ask yourself, then you ask yourself, what are some things that I can do uh, to basically better serve the humanity? Like I
Mm.
basically wrote down a list of the things that I love to do,
Mhm.
and then the things, and I matched them up with like how can I make it a career?
Mm.
And so I added all these things up, and that's how I became an actor. I
Mhm.
mean, I did it, but then I also like set my scope on acting from doing this. I set out what I love to do and how can I make it a career. And then I asked myself, how am I best suited to serve?
Mm. Mm.
And I looked at myself and I said, okay, I'm a little funny. I mean, I make people laugh sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
Right.
throw that in there. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right. Right.
Uh, I have a vision to, kind of change the perspective on what black men are. I've
That's
always wanted
deep.
to be a role model for
That's
that.
deep.
That's an
Mm.
actor,
Right.
right?
Right.
Someone who just wants to represent a certain culture in a proper way. Someone who also enjoy telling stories. That's an
Mm.
actor. All these things
Yeah.
I had to put together. And I was like, wow. So I would say, make sure it is something that you truly are, um, number one, obviously passionate about,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And number two, how do you see yourself best suited to serve in this way?
Mm.
I enjoy writing, I enjoy music, I enjoy a lot of things, but I feel like I'm best suited in this moment, in particular in my life. I feel like I'm best suited to serve as an actor. Like I just feel like acting is something that I'm meant to do. It just feels that way.
Mm. And that's deep, man. That was really heartfelt. And I mean, I felt that. And like I said, I hope if those who are watching this or listening to this, really take heed to that, because I think the one thing that I've walked away with, as we're coming to close out today's conversation, is purpose. um Andre really is really giving uh purpose, and I think that really jives with what we try to do here at Two Mics Up. We try to educate, empower, and impact our community positively, but you're giving it that purpose, really understanding your purpose behind what you're doing, really understanding the purpose of not only being fulfilled but giving back, giving of yourself. And I think that's really dope to hear, because we don't see a lot of that. And that's what makes me proud to have another man who looks like me really share that, because this doesn't get seen enough, in my opinion.
Mm.
Two men just really talking about that honestly and openly. And I appreciate you, for really highlighting and touching on that. And, as we close out, Andre, then I do want to ask, because, we did have some time to talk, before we got on, what's next? 'Cause I know you mentioned some things. I know you got some things in the work. You don't have to share all of it, but what can we see, or what can we hopefully expect from you in the near future?
For one, it's funny that you ask. I'm actually literally right here. I have a children's book that I'm working on.
Oh, that's dope.
Um,
All right,
yeah, and it's the romantic little novel. I'm
that's what's
literally
up.
here sitting up, putting up the pages together for it right now. So a children's book within the next quarter or so,
That's
either
what's up.
either either by December or early top of next year. A children's book. I have a TV pilot that I wrote. A
Mm-hmm.
pilot is the first episode that you pitch to a network.
Right.
That's something I pitched to a few networks, so that's coming up. hopefully that gets greenlit. And yeah, man, I have a few other things in the run that I already signed an NDA for. So, but one thing, it would be on HBO.
Okay. All right.
And yeah, it's been a fun road, man. I'm still auditioning too. I'm working. I'm a working actor, but I'm still auditioning. I'm still, at this point in my life, I'm trying to find a lovely lady.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
I'm in a serious, beautiful thing right now, and I'm happy I'm in that space. So that's kind of where I'm at as well, trying to harness that side of my, keep it balanced,
Balance. Yep.
career and also a wife and, all the, the things that comes with that later.
Right.
Later.
Not right now, but later. Right. I got
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. Look, Andre, man, it's been a pleasure, man, to really sit here and rock with you, man, and just chop it up with you, man. You're awesome brother, man. And I really mean that on behalf of myself, our team,
You
and
awesome
everything.
too, man.
I appreciate that. Thank you, brother.
Especially from you, DC.
Yeah, hey man, look, I'm a transplant, I'm a New York transplant, but I've been down here now 20 plus years.
Wow.
So this is home.
So we did the opposite.
Yeah, we did the flip.
Oh,
yeah, man, we did the flip. So I'm from Brooklyn baby, but I grew up on Long Island, exit 21 in the building, Roosevelt, New York. Shout out, Public Enemy, all them cats and everybody back home.
Nice.
But yeah, did the flip, man. Started, like you said, started a family.
Nice.
Things wasn't that cheap back then, and I wasn't seeing how ends was making it together. So we moved down here, man. It's been a good journey. It's been a good ride.
And what part of DC are you in?
So I'm actually in Northern Virginia. I'm just outside of DC. I'm down in the Woodbridge area.
Okay.
But I work in DC. I go to work in DC every day.
Wow.
So yeah, with transplant, we did the reverse.
Got you.
But I love it, man. And also, real quick before you go, man, so anybody want to follow you, your social media, take a moment, man, share that, man. I want to make sure everybody, go out and follow this brother and follow the talent and the work that he's bringing out, y'all. Y'all got to definitely support. So just take a second, Andre.
Yeah, I mean, my social media is my name, basically, Andre Ozim, Andre Ozim. I keep it simple. Like everything is that. It's really simple.
Yes, brother, man. Yeah, the dry.
I be seeing people be like, they hashtags. I've seen somebody that says, "I do my own stunts." That was a hashtag, but her name was like Ashley. I'm like, who? I do my own stunts.
Yeah, it's too much, man. Too much. That's what's up, y'all. Look, it's the great Andre Ozim, man. Support the brother. Go check out some of his bodies of work if you haven't done so already. Stay tuned for the children's book and everything else that he's got coming out. Andre, man, you're always welcome to come back, man. You have anything you want to come back, just want to pop back in, shout out, anything you want to share. This is your home now too, brother, man. I appreciate you taking the time out today to sit down with me, man. Continue to stay blessed.
Thank you. I might take you up on an offer, man. When this book come out, I might holler at you for this.
Yeah, please do, man. Come on, bring it back, man. You know what I'm saying? We like to support, man, our Black and brown people, man, and that's doing positive things in the industry here on Two Mics Up. All right.
Thank you, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. Been another great episode of Two Mics Up. You know how we do it this time. You can follow us across our social media, IG, Facebook, and Twitter at Two Mics Up. And if you're watching this on YouTube still, I don't know why, because we're on Mogul TV, but if you are still watching this on YouTube, make sure you hit that bell down at the bottom so you can be notified by all the newest content coming to you from me here at Two Mics Up. And drop us a thumbs up or thumbs down. Let me know how you feel. Like we always do at this time, ladies and gentlemen, before we go, may you and yours continue to stay safe, stay blessed. Mics out. 007.